Do you hear what I hear? And now you know how the Prez sings. Oh my God, is my voice bad. I'm Lawrence Presman. You're watching The Betting Edge with the Prez, and today's show, my partner in crime, Marco D'Angelo, and the guy that will represent both of us when we are in a huge legal dispute against our competitors for stealing and copying all of our ideas, Jeff from Oskeim Sports. Let's bring him in. Jeffrey.
How are you, Prez?
How's my failed lawyer turned successful handicapper doing?
Oh boy, recovering lawyer, Prez. Recovering lawyer.
What were you? So you were a lawyer addict? You like law? You did too much law?
How was your Thanksgiving? I had a great Thanksgiving.
Well, listen, I mean, like always, I give thanks that I'm not American. I just do it during the Canadian Thanksgiving. Both of you shaking your heads.
But doesn't your prime minister, didn't he go blackface or something?
Yeah, he did.
Nice. That's good, Prez.
Do you want to get into a war of words about our leaders?
I would prefer not to. No, thank you. No, thank you. Let's move along.
Vetoing that one.
Yeah. I think I would win that one. I went 2-1 yesterday in the NFL. I called Dallas. I called Buffalo. I called the under. Oh, had a 5% play on the over in the Atlanta game. Don't want to talk about it. How did you do, Jeff?
I actually passed yesterday. I had no value on the board, in my opinion, but I'm glad to hear that you're red hot, Prez, 2-1.
Mocking the Prez already. Marco D, how did you do, brother? I mean, it feels to me like you would have picked, based on what I know about you, Marco, you would have sprinkled a little sunshine and snowflakes all over the Buffalo Bills.
I was on the Buffalo Bills, and we're on a 10-3 run since last Saturday, all sport runs. So keeping it going. We got one football game up today already, and looking to add some basketball for tonight. We'll do that after we finish this prestigious podcast with you today.
Okay, well, we got lots I want to talk news. We got lots of stuff going on. It's obviously Thanksgiving weekend. There's something called Black Friday that happens. It's in play right now because it's pretty disgusting outside in Toronto, so we would call that a Black Friday. We have a Black Friday Thanksgiving special. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the table and ask for suggestions. You can include yourself. We are giving 40% off of any 90-day or 1 year all sports package. 40%. Guys, that's 40, almost half price on any 90-day or 1 year all sports package. Head over to Wager Talk or Sports Memo. Use the promo code Black Friday. Jeff Oskeim, who would you choose?
Prez, it's hard not to choose you on a 2-1 run.
Okay, you little mocking bastard. You know what? I'm going to take me out of the equation. Who would you choose other and obviously than me?
I would go with either Marco or Vegas Synergy.
Clearly, you don't look at records on websites. Okay.
I do not.
He's trying to get you to say Tony Finn, and if it's NFL football season, you definitely want to do it,
Marco, this is not about the NFL. This is an all sports package. Every play in every sport. So Jeff would choose you or Vegas Synergy.
I would choose myself.
Well, why didn't you?
Well, I'm 62% over the last 4 months.
Okay, so sell, baby. Go.
It's not as good as a 2-1 run you're on, but I think 62% over the last 4 months is pretty good.
So, Jeff.
Actually, that's 5 months.
Jeff, let's start this again. So, Jeff, 40% off of any 90-day or 1 year all sports package. Use the promo code Black Friday. Who would you choose?
I would choose Oskeim Sports based on his long-term record.
And tell us about that long-term. I got it. No wonder you make no freaking sales. You couldn't sell water in the desert, for Christ's sake.
Prez.
But wait. You actually do make a lot of sales. That was a joke.
Actually, I don't. 62% over the last 5 months. Finally, Prez. You're actually trailing in this show today. I have a new writer, so I'm ready to go.
Okay, so why should they buy you?
Well, 62% over the last 5 months. I'm 60% in the NFL. I'm profitable in college basketball and in college football. It's been a tremendous year, and one of my most profitable periods of time would be right now the conference championship games and the college bowl games. And now with my college basketball math model kicking in, I expect my college basketball selections to increase in terms of the number of selections I release. And it's also one of my most profitable sports, college football and college basketball. It's a great time of year to hop on board.
And I would like to add to that, people. Jeff actually writes maybe the best analysis when you buy picks out of anybody on the website. His argumentation, his structure, his grammar, his humor, it's great. It's just great shit, man. So I am not opposed to them choosing you. And would encourage them to do so. Marco, including yourself, who would you choose?
Well, to take advantage of that Black Friday special, I would highly recommend buying anybody at the site except myself. Don't buy me today. Buy me tomorrow when it's full price.
Yeah! Genius! Genius, Marco! Woo! Okay, so you're not going to pick. Excluding you.
We've got so many good handicappers, and everybody's got strong suits that they have. As Jeff just said about college in football and basketball. Me with the college basketball last year, I was the second in net profit at Wager Talk. And I'm going to be honest with you. We're off to a nice start this year again, but traditionally, I go very cautiously in the month of November and early December. My bread and butter for college basketball, when I really kick it in, is I absolutely love conference play. When they get into the conferences, which we'll have that at the first of the year, that's my wheelhouse for college basketball. So I'm excited at the fact that we're off to a good start being selective here in November so far, and we're looking forward to that. And of course, the bowl games, we've had a great history. We finished last year's bowl games on a 10-3 run, so looking forward to that, and just keep going. But Prez, our lineup, we've got guys that really excel in certain sports.
I agree.
Too. You talk about niche sports. We got Carmine with soccer and how dominant he is. Think about WNBA. Till a couple years ago, people didn't even want to bet the WNBA. But you got somebody that's crushing it. My adage is I don't care what it is. I'll bet on, two ants crossing the street, which one's going to get to the other side quicker if I got an edge.
Oh, I know.
And if you got guys
Jeff,
like Bob
he literally made that bet to me and then stepped on the ant I didn't pick.
Hey, it's all plus EV, buddy.
Guys, we got to get this show on the road. I would pick Carmine Bianco. We're not talking about niche sports. We're not talking about who's better than who in college basketball or NBA. We're talking about an all-sport package, every sport across the board. If you pick Carmine Bianco, you will win at least 100% return on your money over the next 365 days, or I will do the show. Well, let's just leave it at that. Let's talk Army and Hawaii. We're going to do 2 college football games. Then we're going to go straight down the NFL board. Jeff, I asked you to send the college football games in. I asked you to choose which ones you wanted to talk about. Clearly, you understand what our listeners want. They don't want Auburn and Alabama. They don't want Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. They certainly are not interested in Ohio State versus Michigan. I mean, why would they? They really want the one game that they will not actually be able to watch. Hawaii and Army 12:30 a.m. Tell us about this game, Jeff.
Yes, they want an edge. The listeners want an edge, and you're going to have a huge edge in this game because it's all about
the two of you are probably
motivation.
going to disagree on this game, which would ruin the edge.
No, Marco, I guarantee. I guarantee Marco's on the same side, or I will do this show next week and shave my head. And Marco, do not.
Oh my God, Marco! No, Marco!
I know you're on Army, Marco, so don't even try it.
I know.
This game is about motivation. Hawaii has nothing to play for, Prez. They clinched the Mountain West Conference West Division last week, and it's the first time they have done so since they joined the conference in 8 years. They face Boise State next week in the conference championship game, and I can guarantee you all of their focus now is on that game next week against the 20th ranked Boise State Broncos. They are looking way past this Army team. And how can Hawaii be motivated to prepare for Army's triple option flexbone offense when they have the conference wrapped up and the big championship game on deck? And in addition, Hawaii has to be concerned about injuries because Army has a fairly sophisticated blocking scheme, and they have the cut blocking, and they're going to be concerned about injuries. So I would not be surprised if Hawaii takes their starters out early second quarter or even in the second half at the very latest. And the Black Knights, on the other hand, enter off a much-needed bye. They have 5 wins, so they're fighting for a bowl berth here. They're going to be motivated. I love backing military academies on the road because historically they're profitable and they're very focused. They're our nation's finest men in uniform, and they're not going to be carried away out in Hawaii, partying it up and everything else. They want a bowl game. They're going to be focused on this game, and they're going to catch Hawaii looking past them. If you look at home field advantage, the Rainbow Warriors don't have a home field advantage. I mean, they're 18-37-1 against the spread in their last 56 home games, and they're 2-15-1 as a favorite against the spread, including 0-12 at home. You cannot back this Hawaii team, certainly not when they're laying points. They're also 6-21 in their last 27 games against teams with a losing record. And most importantly, from a matchup standpoint, Prez, you look at Hawaii, they can't stop the run. I mean, they ran under the defensive success rate, power success rate, and stuff rate. I mean, an Army ranks in the top 15 in rushing success, stuff rate, in finishing drives. And finally, you look at the discipline of both teams. Army is extremely well disciplined, not surprisingly, as one of our military academies. Hawaii, on the other hand, are one of the highest penalized teams in the nation, and they cannot stop the run. You look at what they did against Air Force earlier this season when they faced the triple option. They allowed 56 points and 353 rushing yards to the Falcons at 6.9 yards per carry. No way they've corrected things. No way they're focused on Army in this game. Finally, the weather forecast calls for 20 to 25 mile per hour winds in Hawaii. So Hawaii's offense, which is through the air, they're not going to be able to pass the ball like they want to. I love the Army Black Knights in this game. Outright take the points, but also sprinkle some on the money line. I think Army becomes bowl eligible Sunday morning, I guess. Saturday night, Sunday morning.
I want to tell you, I thought that was a brilliant take. I am pretty much ready to bet my house on Army. I mean, I think every reason you said was amazing, but one other that I'd like our listeners to take into account is, you know, when the Black Knights play the Rainbow Warriors, you're looking at a bunch of animals versus a bunch of peaceniks. I'm taking the Black Knights.
Well, I was just, you know, teetering on the fence. I know, the poor fence, insert your joke. But until you gave your analysis, Prez, that got me over to the Army.
Clearly, dude. I mean, how do you take a bunch of Rainbow freaking Warriors?
You know, Jeff, 100% agreement. Everything you said, there's no sense in me repeating all of it. It's the situational spot. Yeah, this might be one of the best situational spots of the year, and it's just compounded by the fact that Army is not one of those normal teams. They're going to get looking past because of the situation of the sandwich coming off the San Diego State game last week, which was a very physical game. San Diego State, they were playing for the right to go face Boise State in the Mountain West Championship last week. So they came, look at the score, 14-11. Physical game. They come out of that and then have to play next week. How do you possibly prepare for a team that you never face this type of offense that often? This is a total throwaway game for Hawaii. I agree 100%. And then the point of teams can be distracted in Hawaii, that's never going to happen with a military school. We'll go ahead and take Army with everything on the line. An outstanding play.
Yeah, there's definitely no military men ever that go to bars and sleep with women and have illegitimate children that look half Asian. None. It never, ever happens. Ever.
All right, send all the hate mail. That's Prez at
We actually don't give out our email addresses on this show anymore. I tried that a few times. It went horribly wrong.
For you, yeah, I can imagine that.
Marco at wagertalk.com. And his
like
phone number
to figure
is
out my email.
Well, Marco's cell number is.
Yeah, go ahead. Remember, I have yours too.
Guys, I want to tell you all quickly. Carmine Bianco has an offer for you all. He's giving out 3 free 1-week access to his NHL. So 3 people will win a 1-week access pass to his NHL for free. All you have to do is go over to the Puck Time video and in the comments, just write down who's going to win between the Leafs and the Sabres tomorrow night. That's Saturday night. Just write who's going to win the game and what you think the score is, and you will automatically be put into a raffle in which Carmine will find 3 people and give them a week of all his hockey plays. So make sure to do that. Head over to the Puck Time video and check it out. Marco, me and you spoke on the phone. You're going to be making the same offer. Marco is giving 20 all access 1-year passes.
Yeah, right.
Right? 20 all access 1-year passes. No?
No.
So, Jeff, you picked another college football game, and phenomenal that the listeners are finally going to get to hear about Michigan and Ohio State. Somewhere maybe in your analysis on this wonderful and important, crucial and delicious game between BYU and San Diego State, maybe you can make mention of a game people care about. Talk to me.
All right, this is a winner right here. This is BYU at San Diego State, and this comes down to defense. You look at San Diego State this year, they're allowing only 13.7 points per game at 4.6 yards per play to teams that would combine to average 5.6 yards per play against a mediocre defense. They don't give up a lot of explosive plays. They're 5.2 yards per point better than average defensively. And the Aztecs are very good at making teams one-dimensional. They're 1.6 yards per rush attempt better than average. The Cougars have no chance moving the ball on the ground in this game. They're going to be forced to throw the ball. And if you look at San Diego State, they're holding opponents to 123 total yards below their season average, which is the 7th best mark in the nation. And they possess a 1.7 yards per rush attempt advantage from the line of scrimmage in this game. So I don't see how BYU moves the ball consistently, certainly not on the ground. And you look at San Diego State also has an above-average secondary that's 0.7 yards per pass play, better than average. I think BYU is walking into a buzzsaw here. And BYU, they enter the game off a 3-game winning streak. But if you look at the teams they beat, Liberty, Idaho State, and Massachusetts, those 3 teams are ranked 94th, 98th, and 130th in overall defense. And BYU is 1-4 in their last 5 following a win, and 2-6 in their last 8 against the spread overall. They are grossly overrated by the betting market. The betting public is looking at this BYU team, looking at the 3 straight wins, and not taking into account the opponents they have faced. I love San Diego State in this game, and they could get, I believe it's their 8th win, Marco, 8th win or 9th win on the season, which will help their bowl game they're going to get to. Finally, San Diego State head coach Rocky Long. He's 16-4 against the spread as an underdog from game 10 out during the regular season, including 5-0 when he's with the Aztecs. And he's also 13-6 straight up and 11-7 against the spread in last home games. And finally, BYU is ravaged by injuries. They could be down up to 3 offensive linemen and up to 3 running backs. Take San Diego State plus the points. The wrong team is favored in this game. And again, sprinkle a little bit on the money line with the Aztecs.
There you go. Jeff from Oskeim Sports. Phenomenal take. Marco D'Angelo, what would you like to add?
I want to follow, I object, Your Honor. I'm going to agree to 100% on the other play, but I'm going to disagree here. Now, I am going to say that I am probably not getting to the window on this play because we've lost some line value. With everything that Jeff said, the line's going up on BYU. This line opened at 3. It was up to 6, as high as 6, and it's come back to 5. There was some buyback when it got to 6. But the one thing that Jeff's not mentioning here, granted, those last 3 teams that BYU beat were all cupcakes. I agree 100%, but you can only play who was in front of you. You failed to mention the 2 games prior to that because they're on a 5-game winning streak. They gave Boise State their only loss of the season, 28-25, and then the week after that in a rivalry game against a decent Utah State team, they blew them out 42-14. But the real reason why I want no part of San Diego State this week is we just talked about in the last game about Hawaii and why they have they're a go against. No reason to back them in this game because they got a big game next week. Well, you know who doesn't have a big game next week? That's San Diego State. And why do they not have a big game next week?
Tell us, Marco.
They shit the bed last week. They scored 11 points against the Hawaii defense. And they're not going to the Mountain West Conference Championship. That was the bubble burst game, Dream Crusher game. No, San Diego State wasn't going to a national championship this year, but their goal coming in was to get to the Mountain West Conference Championship game, which they do almost every year. This is going to be a second year in a row, not for them. I just don't see how Rocky Long gets this team motivated other than it being senior day for them. Disappointing loss last week. I'll go with the team that is hot right now. Yeah, they've got some injuries, but this team's playing their best football of the season. And if you go back to the beginning of the season, you want to talk about how easy their schedule was the last 3? Well, look at how hard their schedule was the first 4 games of the season. Utah, on the road, then to Tennessee, then Southern Cal, and then Washington. They had a murderous schedule to start the season. BYU gets the job done here. I got to disagree with my esteemed colleague, Jeff.
He's Marco D'Angelo. The good-looking guy is Jeff. And the stud is the Prez. You can find all of us at wagertalk.com. Boys, let's race through the NFL card top to bottom. Listen, if you want to throw in a tidbit of analysis, go ahead. I prefer to keep it really short, especially with the 2 of you guys. I mean, in all seriousness, very few people speak more than the 2 of you guys. Rob Vino. If I had Rob Vino and the 2 of you on a show together, it would never end.
Well, I know why Jeff talks so long and why his analysis is so wrong. Prez, how do lawyers get paid?
Well said, although I don't know if Jeff remembers.
You got to write those, 16-page briefs, you're getting billed by the hour,
Hourly rate, $275.
Yeah.
That is the cheapest. Oh my God, no wonder you're not a lawyer anymore.
Well, that was what?
Jesus crikey.
That was 13 years ago out of law school.
Yeah. Like, I'm Jewish, and I can tell you automatically that you have to add $400 an hour on just for that. My friends are like $800 to $1,000 an hour.
Okay, but how long have they been practicing? And that's today. What were they getting paid 15 years ago? What was their rate?
I don't know, dude.
It was not that.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go. Giants plus 6.5 against Green Bay, 45.5. Jeff.
Take the Packers. Teams that have lost to the 49ers the previous week are 7-1 against the spread in their next game.
Marco.
All I'm going to say is, why is this game under a touchdown? You figure it out. Take the Giants.
Well, that was a bit confusing, but okay.
They're begging you to take Green Bay.
Well, you should have maybe added that part.
Well, I thought you would be smart enough to figure that out.
Jeff, you've got nice dimples. Carolina minus 10, over and under 40 against Washington. They're my survivor pick. I'm still in this thing, Jeff.
The Redskins have scored 2 offensive touchdowns only once in the past 8 games, and that came against the Dolphins. Take the Panthers minus the points.
Marco,
why are they only laying 10 points or begging you to take the Panthers?
Too many points for Carolina to be laying with coming off of a gut-wrenching loss. Should have won last week as a 10-point dog. I just don't see them winning and covering. For your survivor pool bet, you're in good shape, Prez. I don't see them losing this game, but I can't lay 10 with Carolina, who's just going to hand the ball to Christian McCaffrey like 482 times. So,
okay, San Fran, Baltimore, line dropped overnight. There's a 5s now on the board. 46 is the total. Game of the week, game of the year, Jeff.
I lean with Baltimore in this game. They've scored 30-plus points in 5 straight games, and San Francisco has struggled against mobile quarterbacks this season. I lean with the Ravens.
Marco.
Full disclosure, I went against Baltimore 2 weeks in a row and got.
So you don't know what you're talking about. Let's move on to the next game.
All I would say is better defense getting points. If I had to play it, I would be on San Francisco, but I am passing.
Tennessee, line move, pretty substantial line move. There's now 2s on the board against Indianapolis, 43.5, Jeff.
I like Tennessee in this game. Quarterback Ryan Tannehill leads the NFL in completion percentage above expectation. The first 6 games, Tennessee.
Is that a thing? Completion percentage above expectation? Is that like a thing?
Yes. The NFL Gen X stats, if you look at those.
I'm just kidding, dude. I know.
Well, I never know with you, Prez. I know you're 2-1, but I just question your handicapping accuracy.
Oh, you can't see me, Jeff. What a shame. Marco, what do you like in this game?
All right, well, I'm going to point out Tannehill has been putting up impressive numbers, but anytime you can run for 225 yards on the ground against Kansas City and 219 yards on the ground against Jacksonville, your quarterback is going to do well because a good running game makes an average quarterback look that much better. They're not running for those kind of yardage. That kind of yardage against Indianapolis. Indianapolis, top 10 defense against the run, 96 yards per game. Take the Colts at home. Tannehill magic stops.
Philadelphia with a huge window now that Dallas has shown the world that all they do is suck. Minus 10 against Miami, 45, Jeff.
I lean with the Eagles in this game. They're 13-1 straight up and 14-0 against the spread on the road after scoring 10 or fewer points. I lean with the Eagles.
Jesus Christ, they've
14-0.
They've scored less than 10 points 14 times. Like, that's in their life, right? That's like forever.
That date, I'd have to look back at the database to see, but I think it's like 1989 or 1991.
Okay,
possibly.
When Marco was born. Marco, go ahead.
Philadelphia defense has played tremendous the last 4 games, but the offense, it can't get anything done. Last week, Carson Wentz, horrible performance. The offensive line is banged up. I don't know that I can get to the window laying points on the road with this team, but I really don't want Miami here. I think the better play in this game is probably the under.
I agree with that. Oakland, Kansas City, KC minus 10 at home, 51 is the total. Jeff?
Really bad weather in this game. I like the under the points, but I think it has dropped consistently over the last few days. If you look at Kansas City, Kansas City, though, head coach Andy Reid is 22-5 straight up and 18-9 against the spread off a bye, including 7-1 in division games. So I lean, if you want a side, I lean with the Chiefs, but I like the under.
Marco?
I'm going to lean to the road dog here. Oakland got caught looking ahead to this one. And if you remember, this is a second meeting. When they played the first time, it was week 2 of the season, and Kansas City went into Oakland and handled them very easily. But if you remember, that was right after the Monday night game. Oakland opened the season with a big emotional Monday night win, and that was right after all the circus of Antonio Brown leaving just a few days before the season started. So Oakland is not the same team now that they were when they met in week 2. I'll take the points with Oakland on the road.
Jeff, I've never seen that kind of can. What the hell were you just drinking? What is that?
Polar. It's seltzer.
Oh, okay, seltzer.
Polar, yeah, seltzer.
Jeff, tell me why we should not bet a 3-team 10-point teaser on Carolina, Philadelphia, and Kansas City.
I have no opinion on that.
Marco?
Well, that is probably the squarest 3-team 10-point
I didn't ask
I've
whether
ever
it's
seen
square or not square. I asked why we shouldn't bet it.
Well, because that's, one of those teams have a good chance of losing.
Yeah.
I don't trust the Carolina Panthers. I don't trust Carolina.
Okay. Well, everybody, just to let you know, I guess I'm that square man because I'm putting that teaser in. Tampa Bay -1.5, 2 against Jacksonville. 48 is the total. Tampa Bay's gone over 100 times in a row. Jeff, what are we doing?
Tampa Bay.
Marco?
Jacksonville, this game has gotten bet like the game is over. Wrong team. Jacksonville should be a 3-point favorite in here. And remember, this is the first game since he was hurt that Nick Foles will be starting at home. I look for a big effort out of Jacksonville. But I'll give you a side note. Write this down. If Jacksonville loses this week, they are on auto fade the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Because if they don't show up for the first home game with Foles, they're done for the season.
Write this down.
Complete fade.
They've been on auto fade for the last 4 games.
They have nothing to play for.
Yeah, Marco, you're on utter glue.
You make it sound like he's like Joe Montana or something. The team's going to rally around.
He is Joe Montana. Just Joe Montana of today.
That's crazy. Nick Foles.
Nick Foles. The most overrated quarterback in history of the world. Oh my God, Marco. This team has been on auto fade for a month.
Do you want to trust Jameis Winston on the road is what he's
Marco,
become now?
Jacksonville has been on auto fade for a month.
For weeks.
Welcome to the damn party, bro. New York Jets -3 against Cincinnati. Total 41. Jeffrey.
Bengals.
Marco.
Jets. Don't fall for Andy Dalton. They're bringing him in to get that one win. Everybody's going to look that way. This team sucks.
Square Bob
speaking of
pants,
sucks.
There he is. Square Bob Sponge Pants. Marco, put the Square Bob Sponge Pants on.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay, guys, I'm going to give out a bet right now. I don't even know the odds. I'm going to go look later because I will be laying this bet. Who's going to win Coach of the Year, Jeff?
Oh, that's a good question.
The answer is the coach for Buffalo. Marco?
Nah.
Coach, if they make the playoffs, obviously, yes, I'd give him a shot.
If they make the playoffs, I think this team's got a shot to go far.
They got a very good shot. The defense is playing well, and they're not beating themselves.
But Josh Allen is just a winner, dude. What he did on that 4th down with the fumble. Man, I'm going nuts over Buffalo right now. What are you looking up, Jeff?
Nothing at all.
Jeff, you've got paper. What's paper?
What?
Paper, binder. What are these things?
I got binders everywhere.
What does that one say?
Can't tell you. It's top secret.
Okay. Well, I'm picking the Buffalo coach. Rams -2.5 against Arizona, 47.5. Jeff.
Arizona.
Marco.
Arizona.
The LA Chargers against Phillip Rivers. LA Chargers are -3. Phillip Rivers +74 for interceptions. Who do you like?
I like the Chargers. They're 6-1 as road favorites since 2017. They're 19-9-1 in divisional road games when they're facing the same team the second time.
Marco?
As I said on Monday's show with you, Prez, the play for me in this game is teasing Denver up over the touchdown. I don't see the Chargers getting separation in this game with the Denver defense.
Cleveland -2 against Pittsburgh, and I freaking love this game. I'm watching it for sure. What do you like, Jeff?
I lean with Pittsburgh. Cleveland is looking for their first series sweep since 1988. I know Marco's probably well aware of this fact. Since 1989, Cleveland is 2-25 in Pittsburgh.
Marco?
They are. I'm on Pittsburgh in this one. I don't know the key for Pittsburgh, and you might want to look to the under. No Marquise Pouncey again. It's the second game of the suspension. He is key to that offensive line for the Steelers. They're all pro center. That is the only thing that has kept me from snapping the old rubber bands off and taking Pittsburgh as a home dog. This is ridiculous what they moved the line on this game. New
England plus -3 or 3.5. You can pick against Houston, a total of 45.5. Jeff?
I lean with the Patriots since 2004 that they're 11 against the spread as favorites of more than 3 points following a game in which they completed fewer than 50% of their passes.
Okay. Marco?
Everybody's talking about what's wrong with the New England offense. There's nothing wrong with it. They went against
nothing at all.
Philly defense.
Nothing at all.
They went against the Philly defense.
Yeah, the game before that.
They played in bad weather conditions. Take the over, Prez.
Nothing wrong. They're putting up 40 points every game. Brady stretching the field. Pass completion percentage rate of 85. They're running the ball as if Gale Sayers was in their backfield. Their tight end, it looks like Tony Gonzalez has come out of retirement. There is clearly nothing wrong with their offense. They're perfect.
Bet the over, Prez.
Minnesota, Seattle, +3 for the road team. Jeff?
Take the Vikings. Mike Zimmer is 22-9 against the spread with revenge versus non-division opponents.
Yeah, and one of my angles is anytime the Vikings do meet up with a Seahawk, they're a 100% victory. Marco?
Handicapping 101 with the mascots, with the Prez.
Yeah.
No wonder he gets excited when he has
a 2-1.
I have a book. Right. I have a book of trends and angles. I can't turn it around and show you because it's top secret.
There you go. Pure and simple. Seattle is a team that is overachieving with what they have. They get the benefit of turnovers. They've had 8 take the last 2 weeks. They beat Philadelphia easily last week, but they were aided by 5 turnovers, and it took a gimmick play to score the down. I'm going with the better defense, getting points, and that is the Minnesota Vikings.
Let's summarize the show, guys. 40% off of any 90-day or 1-year-old sports package. You can use that at Sports Memo or Wager Talk. Promo code Black Friday. Jeff Oskheim suggests himself as the person to buy for that package. Tony Finn won again in NFL. Ho-hum. Boring. And lastly, the line of the show. There's nothing wrong with New England's offense. Nothing at all. I'm the Prez. What an awesome show. I would do the betting edge, the 3 of us, every single day if I had my way. The shows would never end because you people don't shut up. But it's still a real fun show nevertheless. Anything else?
No, and just remind everybody if they're in town on Sunday, stop by the Westgate. It's going to start at 1:30 Eastern time. Be there through the conclusion of the second games. We won't be there for the night game on Sunday, but some of your favorite Wager Talk personalities, including the infamous Johnny Detroit.
Yeah, so basically, Jeff,
Sunday morning, just for this event.
So basically, Jeff, to summarize, I'm going to get one wicked ass bill sent to me Sunday night.
Yep.
You thank our beloved leader, Johnny Detroit. It was his idea. And
You
then,
know what? It's
you'll
going to
get
be a
bill
blast.
from
I
me
wish
from
I was.
all of
I
us.
wish I was coming, guys.
Yeah, and I'm sporting one of the swag items for Sunday.
Oh, we even have swag. Oh, the bill. Oh, the bill. Love you all. Have an incredible Thanksgiving weekend. Enjoy all the football, the hockey, the baseball, which doesn't exist, and the basketball. I'm the Prez, and we'll see you Monday.